Hello, hello. It is Friday, May 23, and I'm here with a bunch of lovely health coaches with Take Shape for Life, and we're going to be talking about how to incorporate personal training in the fitness industry, how to incorporate Take Shape for Life into that, or vice versa. And I thought I would just start by sharing my story around where I have been and what I've done and what it's kind of looked like over the last couple of years. I became a personal trainer in 2008, I believe, to remember. I have no college degree. I have 4 children, and when my youngest was in preschool, I thought maybe I should find something fun to do. I was waiting tables, but and really loved people, but I didn't like the restaurant scene. I didn't like being out late at night, away from my family, and depending on tips and things like that. So I didn't grow up in a family where we worked out, although I've been on several different diets with my mom my whole life. The Atkins, the Weight Watchers. We did Leslie Sansone, Walk Away the Pounds. We did all sorts of things. And I did remember at one point we did a little bit of Richard Simmons for working out, and we did some walking. But other than that, we still ate macaroni and cheese all the time. We had frozen pizza. We didn't really understand the diet, the part around how to eat and fuel your body appropriately. So when I got married and had kids, started having kids, I knew that we should eat better, but I really still wasn't quite sure what to do. We had a lot of hamburger helper at our house. And as a young mom, that's what I started feeding my kids. And then started making some changes when I decided, after I had my last baby, I started working out. I completed a marathon in 2005. And that kind of spurred me on to learn how can I take care of myself through exercise and diet. And when I started going to the YMCA in North Carolina and was spurred on by several people that said, hey, you're really motivating and fun, and I think you should be a personal trainer. And so one of the things I wanted to highlight in the story from one of my first points is that as we're looking for other people to join us on our mission to get America healthy, you want to look for that. Who is fun and engaging and inspiring, and be able to pay that compliment forward to them. So I was told, hey, you're really fun and inspiring and motivating. You should be a personal trainer. And I was like, me, no way. I shouldn't do that. Do you know my background? Do you know where I've come from? What kind of family I have? And they were persistent. They kept telling me, are you sure you don't want to be a personal trainer? I think you do a really great job. And that's really why I became a personal trainer, was from people's persistence in telling me to do it. So I found out that it was a very low risk, which Take Shape for Life is low risk for our coaches to start. And so I paid $50 for my weekend certification. And within my first month, I had maybe 2 months, but I only wanted to work about 10 to 20 hours a week. And I filled up my schedule immediately. And I was blown away. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. These people are paying me to train them. I don't know what I'm doing. but they were paying me because they were inspired, right? There was somebody that was willing to work out with them, basically, and to help them along their way. So along the way, people were getting strong. They were feeling better about themselves, but I didn't really see a whole lot of weight loss. And then I started doing triathlons, and then lo and behold, all of my clients wanted to do triathlons. I'm like, okay, so I got to figure out how to train them for that. So I went out and got trained at the U.S. Olympic Training Center to become a triathlon coach, and did that as well. And sure enough, my clients started crossing finish lines and having a great time. And about that time, I was transferred to Atlanta, very devastated, thought, how am I ever going to, now I have this business, and then I'm closing, basically, because the people can't come with me. And another good point around personal training, the difference between personal training and Take Shape for Life, it goes with you. So no matter where we go, our clients go with us, which is such a beautiful thing. So we moved to Atlanta. Here I am in the burbs of Atlanta, and I'm from, a very quiet area in North Carolina. So totally out of my comfort zone, if you will, and ended up working through the YMCA and was exposed to Take Shape for Life, turned it down, very much adamantly said that I did not want to have anything to do with meal replacements. And then I started working at Lifetime Fitness, which is a big box gym, And at Lifetime Fitness, you make $0 unless you're selling or training. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm not practiced at selling. I don't sell. I'm not in sales. And that was my mentality. But what I found is I started meeting people that my heart for connecting people to what they need was what drew people to want to have what I had to offer. And so my personal training business grew at Lifetime. And although one of the things I was not crazy about was that when I didn't have a client, I had to clean machines, or when I didn't have clients, I had to go out and, basically cold call, but on site, try and strike up conversations with people. But I had to work 50 hours a week, and it was rough having kids and working that much. And I would say in 50 hours a week, my biggest check every month, I think I made about $1,200 every 2 weeks. So it was pretty tough to work so much and make so little. So I will say about personal training, that is one of the, when you're working for somebody else, that's the reality. They took most of my check. So after that, I was actually exposed while at Lifetime. The registered dietitian there pulled me in her office one day and said, hey, I found out about this company that uses these education materials, and it's exactly what you teach your clients. And I thought maybe you'd be interested. And I looked and I thought, good Lord, it's Take Shape for Life again. And I said, well, I'm really not interested. She said, I understand. She's like, but I really want you to look at it and just tell me what you think. So I took Habits of Health home. I took a look at it and thought, I can't believe that everything I tell my clients is in this book. And so now I don't have to write a book because it's already done, right? So I thought, oh, this is easy. I can implement this with my clients and we'll see. But first, the ultimate test, I'll ask my mom if she'll do the program, because then if it works for her, it'll work for anybody. So I called my mom, and sure enough, she lost 10 pounds her first week, said that was the easiest thing she had ever done. Fast forward now 3 years, she's down 70 pounds, wears a size 8. My mom's a health coach now as well in Michigan. And it's such an amazing experience to be able to have shared this with my mom, and now it's been able to change her life as well. But she became my story. And so I started telling people, hey, my mom's done everything and this worked for her. So as a personal trainer, sometimes we're not as relatable because people look at you and go, well, I don't look like that, or I'm not a personal trainer, or I don't love working out 6 days a week like most of us who are personal trainers do. We get that high from that exercise, and the serotonin levels get all jacked up. It's awesome. But a lot of people don't feel that way. And so Take Shape for Life becomes that relatable place where we can share with other people, hey, 80% of this process has to do with nutrition. 20% has to do with exercise. So as a personal trainer, if somebody doesn't have a nutrition protocol, you're going to get 80% less results. Because what I found before I implemented Take Shape was I would give people the do's and don'ts, right? We've always done it. Don't eat fried food. Don't go more than a couple hours without eating. Make sure you drink your water. You give them the list of things that's going to make them successful. And I would have people work really hard and do all the workouts I told them to do, and they'd go to weigh in and they'd lose 0.2 pounds and feel really defeated. And I thought, gosh, I feel like I'm really failing as a trainer if I'm telling them to do these things. I don't think they're cheating. And even if I did, I wouldn't really call them out like, hey, I don't think you're being honest with me. But so I knew that I needed something that was easy and simple for people to follow, at least if nothing else, a springboard for people to jumpstart their weight loss. So I went ahead and started sharing. After my mom had success, I started sharing this with my clients. And within a month, my clients, I had a pretty large number of clients that I saw, it was very evident, obvious that my clients were all getting thin and other people's weren't. So after a while, corporate ended up finding out what I was doing, though I had asked my boss if I could be a health coach with Take Shape while at Lifetime. They said it was fine, just don't make signs about it. Ended up a couple months later, maybe it was about 3 or 4 months later, Lifetime corporate found out. They asked me to choose. And of course, I very graciously said, thank you for the opportunity. And I went on my way with Take Shape for Life. And at that time, I was making $3,000 a month with Take Shape for Life and only $2,000 a month training 50 hours a week. So I was only working about, I don't know, 5 hours a week with Take Shape. So I was like, 50 hours, $2,000 a month. And that was 50 hours a week. Okay. So then I was making, for 20 hours a month, I was making more money. I thought this is a no-brainer. So I went on my way and I found a studio to train at, and my clients followed me. And now I'm actually in my studio. That's my own. I opened about 16 months ago, and it's only because of Take Shape for Life that I can have my own standalone personal training studio where now not only are my clients here, but I have 2 other trainers and 1 in training that are also health coaches, and I have a massage therapist and esthetician that are here as well. So it's just been such an amazing 16 months, but it really happened when I decided that Take Shape for Life, I think it was at convention last year where we talked about the difference between doing Take Shape for Life or being Take Shape for Life. And the being versus doing was my, like, okay, if I need to be Take Shape for Life, not just do it. It's not just a tool. And I started changing my verbiage from I'm a health coach that also does personal training. And that really changed my perspective and helped move my business forward when I became a health coach that was also a personal trainer. So that's my next kind of tip, if you will, around as we're trying to figure out and kind of forge through what that looks like, whether we're trying to bring other trainers in or trainers ourselves, changing that mentality about what we do. If Take Shape for Life really is the driver, then we need to let it be the driver. And Take Shape for Life has been my referral source really with clients that has drawn people to my studio is called Shine Health and Wellness, and it's really what has drawn people to Shine is through Take Shape for Life. So I want to open up for questions just about my story, and then I'm going to go into what I do as far as how I use a systematic approach when I bring my clients into Shine. So anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay. Oh, somebody's unmuting.
That was me, Rachel. I enjoyed listening to your story, and it's very relatable. I'm excited to hear about how you incorporate, or actually, let me back up a little bit. Where I'm at, I have Take Shape for Life in a fitness club. It's not my club. Mm-hmm. And the coach is really kind of an entity where we have health coaches in the club. But I find a lot of resistance in that environment, which is really ironic amongst other personal trainers. You know, even though as you said, my clients are actually getting results, and other personal trainers are just running these people, and they look the same year after year after year. Absolutely. But there's a lot of pushback and concepts and things, so it's almost like a toxic environment, and actually, which is shocking to me. So that's where a year after meeting you, I was so excited to have this, diamond to bring into a fitness club, but in fact have found it to be sort of a negative environment. But the owner is very open to me being there. I mean, I could set up a table there every day if I wanted to. So I wondered, you actually did, which is sort of my dream, to go off and have my own studio and do it
on your own.
Take Shape for Life with training as a complement to the 80%. Right. But since that's not an option for me at this time, did you feel though that you needed to really leave at that point? I mean, some of us, like Shauna on the line, she has several fitness clubs that she's working with. So I'm hoping to hear some real great nuggets of how to make it work within a place that isn't our own.
Right.
But I'm also would love to know how you incorporate, Take Shape for Life into your business. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at Lifetime, we had, I don't know, at any given time, there was probably 20 different personal trainers. Wow. And so it sounds a little bit like what is going on with you. And when you have a bunch of trainers, people tend to be territorial, I guess, if you will, where you're kind of walking around and you feel like you're a shark trying to scout the waters for what fish belongs to you. And and I didn't like that feeling, and I ended up feeling bad because I just genuinely love people so much that people were drawn to me over the guy who's the breadwinner for his family that needed to make the money. And I didn't need to make the money, I just liked it. And I just loved people. And so I've had so many people from that environment that had told me that the reason they worked with me or wanted to work with me was because they knew that I genuinely wanted to help them, not because I needed what I did, not because I needed their money. Right. And so I think that's so important as we're approaching our business as free health coaches, because that is what we offer through Take Shape for Life, is that we are a free health coach, that we offer free advice, that we can walk alongside people. And one of the tools that we use is MetaFast. One of the tools we use is the Habits of Health. One of the tools is us. And so Take Shape for Life is made up of those 3 tools. And that's why it's important to keep those in the forefront of our mind, because we don't want to approach it that we're trying to recruit people. Even in a fitness setting, it's not like, oh, there's the MetaFast girl. It's, oh, that personal trainer is a health coach, and her clients. One of the things I would suggest is start to get some statistics around. So, Rachel, if you're in a facility where your clients are having results, how many other trainers have clients? How many clients do they have? How much weight have your clients lost in the last 6 weeks? Right. So then you can use that as kind of an advertising around, hey, listen, at our club, so your owner is very open to Take Shape, but it doesn't sound like it's the only way. And that makes it hard. I'm actually I do consults at a women's only gym down the road. And it's been really a source of contention for me. They want me to do their new member orientations for them, which I love because I love to connect people. But it's so hard because when you walk in the front door, there's Spark, Advocare, and buy your spa bag and your It Works wraps, and your people are bringing in all this crazy. It's like a marketplace, okay?
Right. So I trained yesterday a client, and Herbalife, a giant banner ran across the back of the volleyball court, and I'm thinking, we're a Take Shape for Life club.
Right.
But my client said, oh, look, there's Herbalife. And I'm just,
Right. So
that's out of my control.
So what we end up feeling like is we're just another option, and where we very much believe we're the only option. Take Shape for Life is the only option. It's a matter of what tool are they using. So we all have those clients who say, I don't want to use MetaFast. Not a problem. We can use Whole Foods. Somebody says, I got this protein powder that I really like and I want to use it up. Great. We're still going to do Take Shape for Life. We're still going to utilize the Habits of Health, and we're still going to get you to your goal. And what I have found is that as you walk integrity in that way, they come to you and they say, you know what? I think I want to use your product. Because now you've gotten their trust that you just genuinely want to help them.
Right.
You really don't, for the most part, care what tool they use or what meal replacement they use. We know that ours is the best, and we're bulletproof around what our product has to offer. But we can't lead with that, because what people are connecting with is with us, and they're connecting with how we're going to walk alongside them and help them reach their goals. Right. So at that gym, when you're whether it's you and Shauna, you have several different fitness clubs that you work with. Another thing that you can start to share is, hey, listen, these are the kinds of results that our clients on our program are having. And it's confusing for the members when you're offering Herbalife, Weight Watchers, and Take Shape for Life or whatever. And so there's a way that the club can promote that this is what we do. This is the way that we utilize this program. And whether you're doing Habits of Health seminars is another thing I would really recommend. I just did a seminar a couple nights ago here called Abs Are Made in the Kitchen. And it was really well received because it wasn't a Take Shape for Life event.
Right.
I told them all about the 5-in-1 because I talked about 2 different ways to lose weight. You can either lose weight traditionally with caloric deficit, or you can lose weight through fat burn. Right. So when I tell them how to do fat burning with Whole Foods, they look at me like I have 4 eyes. Like, you want me to do what? So when we can start them easy with 5 and 1, it's like a dream to them. They're like, sign me up. You know, they make that choice. I'm just delivering information. So we become people that offer our education and our knowledge, and then they come to us saying they want what we have. And that's really the posturing that I would put at a fitness center, is having the people that you're influencing be drawn to those trainers, that those trainers would be the ones that are inspirational, motivational, positive, have really great free advice for people, that they're drawing them in and that they would want what they have. And that's what we're to do with as health coaches too, right? We're to live our life like everybody would want our life. So if we're posting negative comments all the time on Facebook, that's probably not a great way to attract, you know, new coaches into our business. But when we live a very vibrant, positive life and are sharing our lives with people, that makes people want what we have. And so in the aspect of reaching out to other trainers, even in your club, so Rachel, are you on is the fitness club on your team, or are you on their team?
They're on my team.
Okay, so you run your clients through the club?
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead.
And are other trainers
under the club?
Under the club.
Right.
Okay. And how many other trainers are doing Take Shape for Life?
So there are 4 with me.
Okay. And how many trainers total?
And probably half the trainers. There's not a ton of trainers, but even the ones within the club, one of them does her own sort of meal planning if someone doesn't want to do Take Shape for Life.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that's a conflict in listening to you. You know,
no, I don't think it is.
She wants to offer 2 pathways because she leads as a trainer,
right?
Not as a health coach.
She hasn't made that shift yet, which is okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So she's a little confusing because she'll have this whole, you know, training program with her meal planning,
right,
with whole foods. But we talked, and she also feels that if they struggle with that, she feels that she has this TSFL option.
Right, which is how I started too. It was only a tool for me at the time, and I would pick from whatever tool I needed at the time. Okay. But what I found over the last couple of years, and as I attend events, I can't stress enough that people have to go to events, because that's where it changes up here. And until you go to events and you can see and you can hear other people who have been in your shoes and have experienced it, it's like this freedom that comes from being able to have what you want, but being able to lead with what is most important. So every trainer has seen how their clients have implemented their program and their process, but they go home and they don't eat well, whether they don't eat at all or they eat the wrong things. And then the work that they're doing with them is void, because they're not getting the results, because they're not doing the 80%, right? So I've even gone so far to tell my clients, hey, listen, I'm in the business of getting you results. And if this doesn't work for you, then maybe that this isn't the right time for you to train. So we call that firing clients, and I'm very happy to do that. But I don't fire a client within Take Shape for Life, because they can always learn new healthy habits. Right. I don't keep everybody on the 5 and 1 either. If they can't do the 5 and 1, I move them to a maintenance plan. And then they're doing the traditional caloric deficit plan. But they're still learning the habits of health, and that's okay. Right. So I would say it's non-negotiable for any Take Shape for Life health coach to use the habits of health. That's what we lead with. Right. And when you lead with teaching the habits of health, or even the Be Slim, I always start with Be Slim. Our thing's going to close in 3 minutes, so I just wanted to go over the systematic approach. When I bring a client in, say I do complimentary consults, which I would suggest that most trainers do. Somebody comes in and we start with tell me a little bit about yourself, just similarly how we do an interested call. But tell me a little bit about yourself. So you're collecting information, ask about surgeries or different aches and pains, anything that's going on. Talk about what their home life is like, what they do for work. And then I always start with, so the majority of what I'm going to help you with is about your diet, because 80% of your results are going to come from that. 20% is from what I'm going to do in this room and train you, okay? So I know that you're looking for a personal trainer, but lucky for you, I'm a health coach that does personal training. So my clients have lost over 3,000 pounds in 3 years. How would you like to add to my number? Okay? So that's really the way that I approach that is I set it up right at the beginning that that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I go through, so I always say, hey, I really, in order to get a good idea about how things look for you, I want you to tell me about what you ate yesterday. And I kid you not, every person says, yesterday wasn't a very good day. It never is. So that's okay. Start me from the time you got up in the morning and everything that went in your mouth. Okay. What time did you get up? What time something went in, and what time you went to bed? What did you for your exercise? So then I log it. 6 a.m., 7:30, whatever they tell me, I have it on a sheet. Okay.
Wow.
So by their log of what they told me they had yesterday, I'm able to see the flaws in what's going on. Right? We're looking for how often they're eating carbohydrates, or if they're pairing carbs and proteins, how much water they're drinking, how much soda, those kinds of things. And so we start with the basics. Did they eat breakfast within 30 minutes of getting up? Are they exercising regularly? Do they have support in their life? Are their meals, if they're trying to lose weight, are their meals low fat? Okay. And then are they following an individual plan, or are they just shooting the breeze and kind of going on a whim? And are they monitoring their weight at least weekly? Okay. As we all know, that's the Be Slim acronym. Right. So I always do that in a consult. So when I can check those things and say, okay, so based on what I look for, the majority of healthy habits that are absolutely non-negotiable for you to reach a healthy weight, you're not doing. So as a health coach, that's where we're going to start. I don't offer it to them. I just say, you came here for my help. This is how I do it. So next steps are, if you need to lose 50 pounds, most of my clients lose 50 pounds in about 3 to 4 months. How would you feel if you lost your weight in 3 to 4 months? Helping them paint the picture, we begin to dream weave. And of course, at the end, they say, well, what do I do next? And I say, well, the next step is we're going to get your first month ordered, and we'll order the books, and you'll start on the habits of health. And so we just go through that process just like we would anybody else. And then they go, oh, well, wait, what about personal training? Because that's really what they came there to hear about, was personal training. And I said, well, this is personal training. We're just starting with nutrition. And we'll incorporate in, well, what do I do for exercise? Well, for right now, I just want you to go for a walk. Can you go for a walk maybe 3 days a week? Really? All you want me to do is walk? Yep, until you get into fat burning, until you're feeling good about your nutrition protocol. We're going to talk about personal training next month. How does that sound to you?
Wow.
So it's but I'm very confident about that. And if they don't like it, that's okay. Because what I do, and Rachel, and because of what you do within your club, if somebody wants to lose 5 pounds, I'm not going to tell them that that's what they're going to do, right? If somebody's wanting to train for a race, or if they're trying to do a figure competition, it's going to be a totally different conversation. But as far as Take Shape for Life goes, even if somebody needs to lose 10 pounds, I may just say, you know what, our 5-in-1 protocol is a really great jumpstart to weight loss. It'll help cleanse your system. You may have some gluten and dairy intolerances that are causing you to be bloated or not have great digestion. So going on 5-in-1 is kind of like a cleanse. So let's start there, and then we'll incorporate foods back in. And by then you'll be feeling great. Those 10 pounds will be gone, and we can see what your body likes and what it doesn't like, and be able to go forward from there. So it's all about getting your clients into fat burn and feeling good, having energy, and then that promotes them to be able to have great energy in their workouts. Because having somebody come to train, you know as I do, that if somebody is starting their workout regimen and they can't, like, I'm a functional trainer, so I don't do boot campy type of workouts or anything like that. But I'll do a consult and have them stand on one foot, and they can't stand on one foot. And I'll say, oh, well, you know, the last trainer I had me doing like jump squats or carrying a big old weight on a sled and running through the gym. And I'll say, that's interesting. So you can't stand on one foot, but you want to do that? Well, that's not going to work. So this is the way that I do it until I see that your core is stable. You know, as we're walking through the personal training aspect of it, outside of the nutrition protocol that I do in that first consult, I do walk through about 10 different exercises that takes me about 15 minutes to see the condition of their body. So I do a squat assessment. I'll do a balance assessment. I'll see how their core activates in plank. You know, I'll check some of those things. So that, and that's really, I don't necessarily need to even do that because I'm not going to start that until they get into fat burn and they start getting their nutrition protocol down. But they feel better if I do that.
Value. Yeah.
Right. They value it more if I do that. I'll put them on the treadmill. I'll do a gait analysis, see how their posture is, check their shoulders, check their hips, knees, and ankles, just to see what's going on. And if I, like say for instance, I see that their right shoulder is depressed, and I'll say, "Oh, that's interesting. Did you have an injury on your left hip?" And I'll say, "How did you know that?" Well, we know that as trainers, pain follows a diagonal pattern. So some of those things that we say just to increase the value of what we know. Right. Not necessarily, I don't use big words. I don't use big, the specific muscles. And I try to be as relatable as possible, but I want them to know that I know what I'm talking about so that they trust me that starting them on Take Shape for Life is the best option for them. If they're very resistant and they say, you know what, for whatever reason, they do their objections and they don't want to do 5 and 1, I say that's not a problem. We'll start slow. I'm going to go ahead and give you a meal plan, and I start them on one of our maintenance plans. Go at using their height, weight, and age. I use a resting metabolic calculator to figure out where they would start. I email them the meal plan and say, let's just start with these things. Let's see how you do. Let's see how you feel. We'll tweak this as we go. 9 times out of 10, after the first week or two, they write me and say, I'm feeling so much better, but can you tell me about that Metafast stuff again? Because it's really hard for me to get all this food in. And I say, yeah, it's really tough when you have to eat a lot of food and you got to lose 50 pounds. So you got to do this for a really, really long time. They're just not as motivated. But when you're at your goal weight and when you love working out, you love eating all that food. Okay? So it's just a different place. And so what we try and do is take people back to the beginning. Let's create a foundation. Let's make sure the foundation is sure. It's the idea of do you build your house on the rock or do you build it on the sand, right? I mean, if we're building a house, we got to build it on a rock, not the sand. So we want to make sure that foundation is secure and solid. And that comes from creating value and trustworthiness, that we have that relationship with whoever we're talking about. And in the setting of a fitness center, that's really what you're trying to implement with your coaches. So Sean, as you're working with these fitness centers, your best bet is to have intimate relationships with these coaches that are health coaches with Take Shape, that's their role, that's their belief system. It's not just something that they do for extra money on the side, because those are the people that suck our time. They're not people that really walk it and live it. They aren't Take Shape for Life. They're just doing it. And it's okay. I used to do it too. So don't give up on the people that are just doing it. Sure. They'll come, but it's coming to events that changes that mentality. So if we spend our time with those coaches, inviting them and just saying, hey, listen, I think that you'll be able to see and feel it and know it when you come to events. So we only have about 1.5 minutes left, so I'll take a couple questions, and then if there's anything that you guys want to know, you can always send me an email or give me a call. Happy to go over anything else after that. So do you guys have anything pressing that you want to ask before we're done?
I'd really like to schedule a business call with you, because I need to discuss the business portion of it. In my gyms, I am the Take Shape for Life health coach. Okay. And the gym owner is a coach, but she wants no part of that. Right. So she's doing nothing to integrate this into her really trainers. And it is a shark-infested water. Yeah. And I need some advice on how to do that. I'm not a trainer.
Okay, sure.
Great.
It's a little bit more difficult, but I think you could do it. I mean, it's good that you have the backing of the owner, but it does make it a little bit harder because there's no buy-in,
Well, she's bought in, and I had a coach between she and I, and that coach gave up because of the difficulty in trying to bring it into a gym. So
okay, sure thing. So we'll schedule that. I think I have your email address, so I'll reach out to you. So thanks so much for being on the call today. I'm going to send out the recording, so if there's anybody that you would like to send it to, you can feel free. And I appreciate your time and for joining us today. You guys have a super Friday.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you so much. And Sean and I will take you out at Nationals.
Yeah, got it.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Nicole. That was great.
All right. Bye.
Bye.